Gets it in the middle for the win.
Unbelievable! Then you got middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Yeah!
Get inside. Unbelievable. Julius Horry.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win it!
Both teams understand in order to advance, they now have to put together 48-minute game plans and execute to perfection.
They played each other 3 times in the regular season. Spurs winning 2 of 3. The home team won all 3 games. But in recent years, the Spurs have played very well. I don't want to say dominated, but they've had the better of the Phoenix Suns.
Well, because they trust their defense. You can be inconsistent at times offensively. Defensively, you can do that night in and night out.
Larry Stoudemire on Tim Duncan, one of the fabulous individual matchups. As Raja Bell, who's had quite a week, gets the first steal of the game. Made All-NBA first-team defense. First time he's been on any of those teams, and he deserves it.
How about take a look at the way that the Phoenix Suns started out this ballgame. Sean Marion defending Tony Parker on the defensive end.
Nelson with the initial rebound. You also have Bruce Bowen guarding Steve Nash for the Phoenix Suns. So some great individual defenders featured in this series. And we have a defensive 3 seconds called against Phoenix. So a technical foul. 1 shot coming up for San Antonio.
And we make so much of great individual defenders, and we should. But what makes a guy efficient on the defensive end is the 4 guys behind him, helping, communicating, and letting him know where his help is coming from. That is crucial.
Michael Finley, who had such a great series in the 5-game victory against Denver, knocks down the free throw. Finley, of course, a former draft pick of the Phoenix Suns and a longtime teammate of Steve Nash in Dallas. He will be huge in this series for San Antonio to advance.
He's a guy that, since the All-Star game, Popovich told him, I want you to be aggressive offensively, and he has really picked it up.
Duncan can't put it in. Stoudemire with some excellent defense. And he gets the crowd fired up early. Marion, the shot put 3. Phoenix during the regular season 33-8 on their home floor, and they're perfect 3-0 so far at home in the playoffs.
The danger with both of these teams is they can win on the road. Both teams proven on the road that it does not affect them to go into somebody else's building and win.
And a turnover down the other end. You saw Tony Parker hit that first field goal for San Antonio. And when you talk to the Phoenix Suns, they see keeping him out of the paint is their #1 concern. He averaged 28 a game against Mike D'Antoni's team this year.
And you think the way that he got into the paint was off a pick and roll with the Phoenix Suns going underneath the screen, but more so it was transition as Tony Parker once again gets into the paint area and draws the foul.
James Jones picks up his first.
Off the pick and roll, the penetration looks like Jones is outside. Certainly had a case to be made, and Coach D'Antoni upset, but Tony Parker is going to the line in the meantime.
Parker misses. He may not have just gotten there in time, but either way, Parker gets to the free throw line. Parker shooting very well from the line. That's been a problem for the Spurs last couple of years, but they are much improved shooting free throws. Highest percentage as a team in 14 years, and Parker very much improved there.
You got to give this organization a lot of credit because guys are fishing on the floor. They can settle and say, hey, we're not worried about the foul shots. But you talk about Duncan and Parker, those guys got it done in the offseason.
Nash, his first shot. Nash didn't shoot particularly well against the Lakers, but boy, did he distribute. He had almost as many assists as the entire Laker team during that 5-game series.
When you have the ability to blow by the defender, he is at your mercy. Defender on his heels, Steve Nash able to step into a rhythm jump shot.
Duncan, quick spin on Stoudemire, and Stoudemire picks up his first. That's a concern for Phoenix. He was second in the league in personal fouls behind Andris Biedrins of Golden State.
Well, he's going to be tested on the defensive end guarding Tim Duncan. If he's not going to get help, Tim Duncan is going to put him in the rim and force him to create contact.
And Duncan will go to the free throw line. And there you see Duncan's numbers Look at the assists. Almost 5.5 assists in that first round against Denver. Pretty amazing for a center.
I think that's the most underrated part of his game. When you talk about a big guy that can post up, that can score, and then take the double team and make plays out of it, it completes them as a team on the offensive end.
And there you see, they've met overall, these two teams, 7 previous times. Of course, 2005, the most recent. That one Phoenix win, Duncan was hurt. Well, they met 2005, Spurs winning that 5 games, but only 4 players from Phoenix remain from that series. It's a complete different team in a lot of ways.
Well, they're not concerned about what has happened in the past. This is the 2007 Phoenix Suns and the Spurs, so they're not concerned about anything that happened prior to this.
Defensive 3 seconds called on Tim Duncan. So a technical foul, 1 shot. As a defender, you have to stay within guarding distance or arm distance of your man if you're in the paint. Otherwise, in 3 seconds, you get whistled for the technical foul. And you see Bob Delaney telling Duncan, your foot was in there, bub.
Communicate. Do you think he called him bub?
I think he called him bub. Bob Delaney in his 20th year. He's a playoff veteran, over 120 playoff games officiated. Reach and foul on Elson. What makes this matchup again so fun, and you'll appreciate this, is the fact that your 2 superstars, Tim Duncan and Steve Nash, it's not about how many points they score. It's all about getting their teammates involved. Duncan's the same way. And wins come out of everything else.
Well, when you have 2 guys setting the tone of the locker room, that attitude and that mentality is contagious. So it's no coincidence, or it's not a fluke why these organizations are 2 of the best in the league.
And as you notice, Marion guarding Parker. Showing Marion his versatility defensively is critical for Phoenix. Parker loves that floater.
And that's really too easy. Sean Marion defending Tony Parker, giving them plenty of airspace, and then going beneath the pick and roll.
Nash for 3. Steve Nash 2 for 2.
And what you have to do if you're Bruce Bowen, you have to meet Steve Nash above the 3-point line. That time allowing Steve Nash to step into a rhythm jump shot in transition.
Michael Finley spotting up. Good contesting of the shot from Raja Bell. Fight for the rebound, Marion. Nash looking for Stoudemire. Already some physical play. Stoudemire spinning, blocked by Duncan. Picked up by Parker.
Great help defense from Tim Duncan. Really doing a good job of reading and then coming over from the weak side.
And Finley knocks down the 3. Michael Finley, who had 8 3-pointers in the Game 5 clincher against Denver. Oh, blocked by Elson for the goaltend. As Nash went coast to coast.
Exactly what the Phoenix Suns want to do. Push the ball down the throat of this Spurs defense. You don't want to give them a situation where they're set up defensively. You have to push the ball.
Nash, of course, being a ball hog early. He has all their points.
Well, they're going to make him a scorer. And pushing the ball allows the defense to collapse, and then you have to read. There's going to be times when Nash is going to be a scorer and then a facilitator.
Parker knocks that down. That has worked well. San Antonio, that's their game plan, is to make him a scorer. And it's been very effective for them. Bell. And still Phoenix ball. Good hustle from Marion to keep the ball alive. Francisco Elson, part of the 2-headed center for San Antonio with Fabricio Alberto. Nash. Again. Not that time. Marion tips it, keeps it alive. The hustle of Sean Marion.
I tell you what, the way that both teams are defending the opposition's point guard, whether it be Tony Parker or Steve Nash, those guys are going to have big series.
James Jones trying to force it in there. Marion saves it. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Nash, nice feed to Marion, who rushed it. The presence of Duncan.
Tim Duncan able to be towards Steve Nash, and then excellent defensive ability to get back and contest the shot of Marion.
And Duncan draws the foul on Jones. crowd doesn't like it, but Jones didn't say a word. Duncan will go back to the free throw line.
The reason why you like the San Antonio Spurs is they don't make mistakes. On either end of the floor, they don't beat themselves. And that's why if you're a team in the playoffs, that's the team you don't want to face.
Well, as Duncan goes to the line, substitutions, Boris Diaw checks in as Jones will sit down with his second foul. Diaw now coming off the bench, playing a lesser role than last year, but still an important playmaker for this team. Playing against his good buddy, Tony Parker.
Well, the advantage of having Diaw in the basketball game is he takes the pressure off of Steve Nash to make every play. You can trust somebody else on the floor. That's an excellent passer and a mismatch at his position.
Manu Ginobili comes in. You also have a matchup featuring maybe the two best six-man. Leandro Barbosa, of course, for Phoenix, who won the six-man award. Ginobili finished second in the voting.
I think you can take maybe out of that sentence. I would say they're the two best six-men in all of basketball.
They certainly showed it this year. Marion the rebound. There's somebody you'll always offend if you don't say maybe. I guarantee there's four guys who are mad at you right now.
Well, they can get mad at me. If you're giving me Leandro Barbosa and Ginobili, I'll accept those guys being mad.
Raja Bell. Stoudemire. Yeah, that's the shot he has been hitting all season.
Tough shot for Stoudemire. Good defense by the Spurs, and that's a shot before the game. Stoudemire was working with Jalen Rose, the guy on the bench for the Phoenix Suns, working on that same shot.
Bowen. Bowen will have an opportunity. Nash is guarding him. Well, they don't want him shooting many jumpers. Nice feed inside. Stoudemire making the most of his playoff appearance. He missed the playoffs last year with the knee problems, but he was superb in the first round against the Lakers and off to a good start here in game one against the Spurs.
And your quarterback is so important to trust your receiver. Steve Nash delivering the basketball to Marek Stoudemire, putting him in a position to score. And Steve Nash, the ability to back up the defense, knock down the jump shot. And I said Parker because there goes that man. Another teardrop in the lane. We have ourselves a playoff game.
There was a book by that name by Hall of Fame writer Jack McCallum, 7 Seconds or Less, chronicled last year. And they play that way, I don't want to say to perfection, some nights pretty darn close.
You really want to do it against the San Antonio Spurs because they are at their best when they're back defensively, set, and they know exactly what you're running. When you push the ball in transition, it forces the issue and does not allow them to set up.
And there you see they've had some big first quarters. Perhaps you saw Duncan and Marion sharing a lap before. These two teams, there's a lot of friendships between coaches, between players, and an unbelievable amount of mutual respect, more than most cases you've seen in the series.
Well, these are two teams that get it. They understand it's just basketball, so they go out, compete, and really enjoy going after one another.
Here's Jacques Vaughn. Offensive foul. Raja Bell, one of the best in the business at drawing charges.
Great defense by Raja Bell. That is how you play defense against a 2-on-1 fast break. He is waiting and forcing Jacques Vaughn to make a decision. When he picks up the basketball, Raja Bell steps in between, takes the hit, and gets his basketball back.
Here's Barbosa, dribbles it off his foot. Bell, of course, we mentioned, has had a great week. Gets all NBA first team defense. His team eliminates the Lakers, and he became a daddy for the first time. As his wife had a baby boy on Wednesday. Stoudemire with the steal. Ball and a couple of turnovers. Here's Barbosa, who had a great first round series against the Lakers. Diaw. Ginobili picks up his second.
I thought the last time we saw Boris Diaw, he really was out of sync. But he has certainly picked it up in playoff basketball, and this afternoon especially. Looking to be aggressive. He gets the smaller Ginobili on the block, and he capitalized punishing with the high percentage move.
Diaw in his fourth year, as we mentioned earlier from France, as Ginobili will sit down with the 2 fouls. But you got to give Diaw a lot of credit. Last year was the NBA's most improved player that had a very strong playoff run as well. This year, with the return of Stoudemire, he's had a lesser role. Also had some injuries, including a back problem. Doesn't let it affect him when he gets on the floor. Very unselfish player, sometimes unselfish to a fault.
Well, it's really a commitment to winning. Do you really want to win or do you want to be a star? Is important. Amari Stoudemire gives this Phoenix Suns team the best possible opportunity to win it all, and the best situation for Diop is be a role player off the bench.
Finley has had the field in these playoffs. Knocks down another. He's got 6 points. Here's Alberto in the game guarding Stoudemire. Tough shot.
That really was good defense by Alberto. You want to force Stoudemire into a jump shot fading away. Excellent defense, and then sealing the deal, getting the rebound.
Roger Bell very aggressive on Philly. They let them play now. Robert Horry. Stoudemire with his 4th rebound. Marion double. Barbosa spinning. Won't go. Rebound tipped and taken by Bowen.
How do you defend that move by Barbosa? Able to change direction, stop on a dime, and then a floater in the lane.
Barbosa averaged 21 a game in the first round against the Lakers. Final minute here in the first quarter. 2 on the shot clock. Horry has to put it up. Oh, and he puts it in with Diop right on him.
Robert Horry running back like he meant to do that. That was his play all along, but that's just solid defense, unfortunately for the Spurs.
With a 3-pointer. And the Spurs lead cut to 1.
What you love about both teams, neither team gets rout. They are totally confident in the way that they have to go about winning this series.
Both teams shooting pretty well here in the first quarter. Jacques Vaughn left wide open and makes them pay.
Has to be ready, understanding they were going to go beneath the pick and roll, and Jacques Vaughn steps into a jumper.
And a reach-in called. Well, they had a foul to give. Smart play from Vaughn. Vaughn was bounced around the NBA. He's learned from some pretty good players. Played in Utah, learned from John Stockton. Played in New Jersey, learned from Jason Kidd. Now he backs up Tony Parker.
It's a veteran player that understood, hey, we have a foul to give, force them to take the basketball out and execute from the out of bounds.
Final seconds of the opening period. Barbosa, tough shot. Vaughn does not like that call. Vaughn, one of the all-time gentlemen in the NBA. You don't see him get upset. He feels that was a bad call.
Well, I just gave him credit for the veteran play, committing the foul earlier. That was not a smart play by Jacques Vaughn. You want to play solid defense to end the quarter. Good defense, but the little contact on the jumper by Barbosa, live with the contest and live with the results. And Jacques Vaughn says, that's not a foul, man.
3 fouls in 4 minutes. So he'll sit down, and Barbosa will go to the line. What a great year it's been for Barbosa, a young man from Brazil, now in his 4th year in the league. Every year getting a little better, and just had it capped off with the NBA 6-Man award. They just rave about him here, not just as a player, but more importantly as a person. Such a humble young man. He doesn't care if he starts. He just wants to win a championship. Could probably score 20+ for a lot of teams around the league.
No question about it. And really could be walking around here like he's the man, but he is totally content.
Parker, that'll count if it goes. Off the mark. And that will end the first period. Tony Parker had a quick start for San Antonio. Steve Nash also scoring early for Phoenix. And after one, it's a 1-point San Antonio lead.
The advantage that Marion has defending Tony Parker is the system. The strategy is force Parker into being a jump shooter so Marion can be at bay and also be long enough to contest.
And Marion with his first bucket. That's a big one because Marion has had his problems against the Spurs, Mark.
And the reason why is because the Spurs are a disciplined basketball team. They are not going to allow Sean Marion to get alley-oop baskets, easy basket opportunities, and they stay at home where he can't have spot-up jump shots. So they take away the strengths.
Shot clock winding down. Parker. It's good. Tony Parker off to a terrific start. He's got 9 points.
It's so important when you are going into a playoff series to understand how you're going to be defended. And Tony Parker understands they're going to make him a shoot.
Another 3 for Rajon Bell. Raja Bell and Kurt Thomas in the game. Two Suns, the reason they're here is because of series like this. After the Spurs knocked them out a couple of years ago, they need better defenders, and those are two key players that they've acquired since then.
Two proven guys on the defensive end that battle, they understand, and they make you better on the other end. And Tony Parker says, it does not matter the defense that you play against me.
Parker, one of the best in the league at getting in the paint. Barbosa blocked by Horry. And it's still going to be Phoenix ball. Nope, they say last touch by Phoenix. So we'll go down the other way as we go to Michelle.
Well, you guys, Raja Bell told me he got about 8 or 9 hours sleep last night. That may be responsible for his good shooting touch so far. Why is that significant? He got no sleep Saturday. He was up on daddy duty, taking care of Dia, his little boy that you mentioned. Dia is also Raja's middle name. It's a West African name meaning champion. Maybe that's an omen, guys.
Well, Michelle's not going to get a lot of sleep when he's home. He's going to look forward to some of those road trips.
Oh, those daddy duties. You got to know your role, even at home.
What are you trying to say?
I understand mine.
Can't get it to fall. And here comes Ginobili. Suns by 2. Now Kurt Thomas on Parker on the switch. Bad pass. That's going to be Suns basketball. 7th turnover for the Spurs, which is a lot. They only averaged 12 in the first round. They take care of the ball.
Tony Parker did the right thing, recognizing the switch with Kurt Thomas defending him. You got to force the help to come. That time he bailed out. He wound up with a turnover.
Now, Thomas, the jump shot. He's not just a defender, he can knock those down.
Well, he's their best pick and pop guy from a big man position. Excellent job of setting screens and popping to rhythm jump shots. That is one thing that he can do.
He was not healthy last year in the playoffs. As Elson is called for an offensive foul as he barrels into Bell. That's the second foul on Elson. He wants an explanation, and we have a timeout.
And Tony Parker just recognized a big guy on you. The blow by. Parker once again, paint touch and knocking down uncontested length.
Just told him that you can't always explain why something works out the way it does sometimes, and all the greats have had bad playoff series, and a lot of people need to share in the blame in that. It's not just him. So he's just got to have thick skin and take his share of the responsibility and forget about it and come back next year refreshed, and it's just basketball.
That's the right approach. It really was the perfect storm for Dallas, Mark. What'd you make of that first round upset?
Well, give the Golden State Warriors a lot of credit. They were the better basketball team, because if you look 1 through 12 and you line both teams up, Golden State Warriors players will be convinced, other than the guy standing next to Nowitzki, that they were better than that guy. So big time series, and I'm so happy for my former teammate, Chris Mullin.
Oh, and of course now the chief of the Warriors, his Nash misfires, and Ginobili runs it down. They'll start their second round series against the Utah Jazz, most expected in all Texas Conference semi with Dallas and Houston. It's a nice work for both those teams. Nelson misses the jam, and here comes Nash. Able to put it in. Stoudemire with 8 points.
You can tell he has a great deal of confidence in stepping into jump shots. That's a shot I talked about he was working on before the game. He understands how he's going to be played.
Under the 5-minute mark. And a blocking foul call on Barbosa. That's his first 3rd team foul against Phoenix. And there was the first time it's happened in a 7-game series. They just switched that first round a couple of years ago. Baron Davis, just phenomenal. And for Dallas, what do you do if you're Dallas? Do you make major changes? Do you tweak? I mean, they won 67 games. It was the one matchup they really didn't want.
Well, you have to make some changes. You have to put somebody around Dirk Nowitzki that can take pressure off of him. All the blame is not to Dirk Nowitzki. The Golden State Warriors forced other guys to beat him by double teaming Dirk Nowitzki. You have to have somebody alongside of him that can release that pressure.
It's going to be a long summer for them after a magical regular season, as we have a loose ball foul call against Phoenix. Kurt Thomas, who agrees with the call. 14 foul. Popovich, meanwhile, he was hurting a bit because one of his close friends from the NBA, Avery Johnson, the coach of the Mavericks, but he loved the way Avery Johnson handled the post-game press conference after the most painful loss of Johnson's career.
And it was correct in giving Avery a lot of credit because he's a guy that was watched. During adversity, you're going to look at your leader, and the way that Avery Johnson responded is only going to make them a better organization and a better basketball team down the road.
He gave so much of the credit to Golden State as Nash comes up with a rebound. Barbosa knocked away. Marion gets it back. Hey, I'm open. Can't finish.
Spurs got away with one thing you don't want to do defensively. You got to guard the man with the basketball.
There's a beautiful entry pass. Duncan able to finish with his second field goal.
The first time all afternoon, Amari Stoudemire gambling defensively, allowing Duncan to get to the rim.
Nash, that 1 foot off balance fadeaway.
That's a high percentage shot for him. Any other guard in the league, you say that's a bad shot. But that's a shot that Steve Nash works on daily.
Suggs back up by 4. Right back to Duncan.
There's no way in the world I would play Steve Nash in a game of horse.
Duncan, count it, and a foul. Stoudemire's going to pick up his second, and Duncan a chance for a three-point play.
How many big guys catch the ball on the block and get rattled when there's traffic around them? Tim Duncan's so good at clearing out of the way, get everybody out of my way, one-on-one basketball, taking advantage of Stoudemire, getting the basket and the contact.
Well, Duncan will go to the line. We showed you Duncan earlier, averaged over 5 assists a game in the first-round series against Denver. He is now in his playoff career, 20 times he's led his team in the playoffs in scoring, rebounding, and assists in the same game. 20 times. That's one shy of the NBA record. Only Larry Bird has done it more.
Well, in my opinion, he's the best power forward to ever play the game. Karl Malone is right behind him, but Tim Duncan, when you look at what he's done throughout the course of his career and adding the vision, able to pass out of the double team, only makes him much more of a threat on the block.
Maybe the unflashiest superstar we've ever seen in this league.
There you go again with maybe. I would say he is.
It's a nice word to use. Bowen stays on Nash. Nash again has been scoring. Barbosa hits a three. 11 points in 14 minutes off the bench.
And that play is made by Steve Nash. Dribble penetration, keeping his head up and recognizing who is wide open. Barbosa's able to step into a rhythm jump shot and makes the defense pay.
Parker, 15 points for Parker.
Well, we have a great game. You talked about both point guards having a big series, and they have not disappointed.
Steve Nash again. The point guard's looking to score.
That's through the legs, fadeaway jump shot over a 6'10" power forward in Robert Horry. I have HO now.
Parker gets in the paint. Good defense and a steal. Raja Bell, nice feed to Marion. And this crowd on its feet. Popovich wants a timeout. Here comes a big standing ovation.
I called my mama, and she didn't believe it too. She started crying. It was fun time, and she was like in a hurry because she was about to come here to America to watch the games, so we couldn't talk very much. But after that, I went to talk to Dan D'Antoni and appreciate for everything he did, and that nothing would be happening if he was here to help me. And I have to thank you for my all teammates, you know, especially Nash.
He had so many people he wanted to thank. Dan D'Antoni, of course, the assistant coach, and his mom, and his brother. There's Parker. Can't connect that time. He was so emotional about winning the award and wanting to share in his joy with so many people that had something to do with it.
And that's what I love about it. How many people win an award and think it's about me, me, me? But he understood he had stayed because of a lot of people and the impact that they've had on my life.
Ball deflected out of bounds, and there's his brother Arturo and his mom. His brother, who was a sergeant paratrooper in the Brazilian army, when they were kids, he really pushed Leandro to be a better player. Leandro talks about a 3-foot stick that his brother used to hit him in the hands with when he made mistakes in the drills. And Stoudemire misses, Duncan got a piece of it. But Barbosa will say, if it wasn't for that tough love, I'd never make it to the NBA. Parker can't hit, Duncan the follow, and kicks it back out.
I don't know about that. My older brother Kevin was awfully tough on me, but there was no 3-foot stick. We'd have issues.
The fists were fine. Ginobili. Bowen. Good defense from Phoenix. Ginobili steps back and comes up short. Here comes Bell. And a foul down the other end. It's going to go against Phoenix, and this crowd upset with the call as Stoudemire picks up his third. A huge call.
And off the jump shot, battling for the second shot opportunity, Tim Duncan and Stoudemire gets tied up. That's not a good call. You got to let these guys play that out.
You know, obviously their arms got tangled up, but I agree with you. D'Antoni very upset. That one they should have let go. That really nothing to do with the play. They were both down. And it certainly wasn't intentional by Stoudemire, who will sit for the rest of the half.
Here's what you like. You like the way that Stoudemire, he's aware that he did not commit a foul, but you don't want to get rattled. Goes to the bench and understands there's a whole lot of basketball left in this game.
We heard the fans yelling at Mark Wendell, which I think they were saying, Mr. Ref, I believe you may have missed that call.
Is that what they were thinking?
I'm pretty good at reading lips as Duncan knocks down the free throw. Mike D'Antoni, who's done such a fabulous job here, he gets fired up during the game. Now in his 4th year as head coach. And Duncan getting to the free throw line quite a bit. He's 6 of 9.
And D'Antoni's upset because he understands the big task to beat this San Antonio Spurs basketball team. I can't have my second best basketball player sitting on the side because of a foul that he did not commit.
Diaw. Nice spin move. Gets inside. And the roll. They whistle it. Somebody may have touched the rim. D'Antoni's still yelling at Mark Wendell, who gave him a little bit of rope there. He let him holler in his ear. He's not going to let him holler much longer.
But how about Boris Diaw? Stoudemire goes to the bench and he comes back in and he's totally aggressive, looking to make plays on the offensive end.
Parker. Robert Horry for 3. Does it again. Robert Horry from downtown. And that's his first field goal.
The penetration of Tony Parker, defense helps, and Robert Horry able to step into a jump shot.
Bowen harassing Nash. Nash gets by. Diaw for 3. This one's been close. Phoenix largest lead 6. San Antonio's 5. As we head down the final seconds of the opening half.
Tony Parker doing the right thing, eating plenty of clock, trying to get the last shot of this half. Phoenix Suns are going to get the basketball back if they can get the rebound.
Parker to the rim. Oh, tough shot from Parker as he gets knocked to the ground. Final seconds, and Bowen with the foul. They had a foul to give. A sarcastic cheer from the Suns faithful.
Well, how do you love the San Antonio Spurs? First of all, they take care of it on the offensive end. Gets a high percentage shot attacking, and then you don't see coaches jumping up and down. A bunch of veteran guys understand we have a foul to give.
Not only did they have a foul to give, that's their first foul of the quarter. That's one of the amazing things about the Spurs. They're the best defensive team in the NBA, yet they average the fewest amount of personal fouls per game. And they play a physical style. Now Mike D'Antoni's going to use his 22nd timeout. He's still hot about that call. Still staring at Mark Wendell. The stare makes you feel better.
This is not De La Hoya Mayweather.
So they'll draw up the play using that 22nd timeout. If you don't use it in the first half, you've got to not be able to carry it over into the second half. So with 3.8 remaining, certainly San Antonio's got to feel pretty good, Mark, about where they stand right now. Again, they've shown that they can play a pretty good pace with the Phoenix Suns?
Well, they have to feel real good because offensively they're not going to have problems scoring. They are an efficient offensive team. The thing you want to do is make sure you run back in transition and not give up easy basket opportunities to this Suns offense.
Parker has been fabulous against the Suns once again. Nash also scoring quite a bit. Dangerous pass. Marion to the basket. And a blocking foul call on Brent Barry.
That was on number 4, Michael Finley. His first shot.
So Finley picks up his first.
How about those numbers? We said that both of these guys were going to be crucial in this series. Parker and Nash totally setting the tone offensively, looking to be aggressive. They are more scorers than facilitators right now, and it's because of the way they're being defended.
Again, that's what Greg Popovich and the Spurs have done in the past. They've allowed Nash, in fact, prefer for him to do the scoring, and they look to defend the three-pointers because obviously when you start draining 3 after 3, it can be so deflating for a team. And they try and avoid that. They've had great success against them. Marion 1 of 2. Barry will not get the shot off. And that will end the first half. Pretty good start to what we expect to be a very long series. Delaney, who's one of the premier officials in the league, not only does he tend to let the game play and let the players play a little more, game's a little more physical when he's officiating, but he's also pretty quick with a technical foul, and you have to know that.
No, and the coaches are aware of that. Not only the coaches, but everybody involved. The players understand some referees have a shorter leash. Some guys you can talk to. Some you must leave alone. You have to understand that going in.
Nash knocks down the free throws. Steve Nash from the free throw line in the playoffs now. 19 of 20. That's pretty good.
I think that's very good. What can Steve Nash, what doesn't he do?
Duncan against Marion. And Duncan able to put it in. As good as Marion is defensively, that's a difficult matchup.
That's a tough matchup, especially if you're going to allow him to play one-on-one. Help has to come because Tim Duncan is too skilled on the block to play one-on-one.
James Jones can't connect. Bowen looking again for Duncan. Elson, let him shoot. He can hit that. He's got a nice perimeter game.
Well, you see the chess match going on. You come out, and because Stoudemire is in foul trouble, you start off with Marion. That time, Stoudemire over-helping with Tim Duncan, and Elson able to step into a jump shot.
Nash to Stoudemire. There's that pick and roll block from behind by Duncan. Stoudemire goes crashing to the floor. Suns get back on defense, but it's 5-on-4. Now Stoudemire. There's a travel. They couldn't take advantage of the 5-on-4.
Elson, he has to laugh at that. Wide open, looking to make the play to Tim Duncan. Thought the help was going to come. Careless mistake by Elson.
The coach wasn't interested in laughing at that. 11 turnovers now for San Antonio. Stoudemire inside. And there's a whistle. Tim Duncan. That's his first.
That's the advantage of having Stoudemire in the pick and roll. This is what they missed during his injury. A guy that sets the screen and attacks the paint area. He is setting the screen and exploding towards the ring.
You saw the left hand just on the hip. That's what did. That's a good call. Duncan not happy with it, but that's the right call because even the slightest bit of a shove changes the way you go to the basket.
Well, I know how it is to be a high flyer. A guy puts his hands on your hip. It can affect the explosion to the rim.
Used to practice on those trampolines they put out for the dunk show. Game tied at 56 here in the opening minutes of the third quarter. Finley, good look for three. That's good. Michael Finley again. He's got 12 points.
Tony Parker's doing a great job of being aggressive offensively, but also looking to get other guys involved. That time made the play for Finley.
Here's Parker off the turnover. 3-on-2. Back for Duncan. And Duncan gets hit. Raja Bell raises his hand. And Bell will pick up It should be on Bell. They just announced Nash, but they just had it wrong. So Bell picks up his first, and Duncan back to the line.
We talked about earlier the importance of running the lane with Stoudemire. At that time, Parker with the basketball, Elson and Duncan, the two guys filling the lane in transition.
And terrific numbers from Duncan in the playoffs every year since he's been with the Spurs. All-NBA defense every year since he's been in the league. And what he's done for the franchise, the 3 championships. They are just such a consistent team. And of course, all 3 years they won the title, he was the Finals MVP.
For what he's meant to this franchise, I would those guys consider retiring his number even before he leaves the game.
Are you allowed to do that?
Hey, I certainly investigated.
Parker. Nice move. Oh, Parker, beautiful play. 19 points. Nash was right with him.
That's good defense by Steve Nash, but Tony Parker has a rhythm offensively, and that is a high percentage shot for him in traffic.
Again, Bowen is on Nash. Nash gets to the rim. Oh, he gets the layup to go. So good with that left hand, Mark.
If I'm a point guard, I'm watching both of these guys. You take a look at the way that they play. Different styles, different ways of getting it done, but both guys effective. Steve Nash taking on 3 Spurs defenders and finishing with the left hand in traffic. Uses the body to eliminate Bruce Bowen and Elson, and then finishes off the glass with the left.
You said if I was a point guard, weren't you a point guard?
I said was. I'm talking about people that have a future ahead of them.
Parker, drops it down. Parker playing with such confidence offensively.
And now Steve Nash is guarding Parker, so he's doing the correct thing. You have to make Steve Nash work on the offensive end when he's defending.
Stoudemire, the fake, the drive. Can't get it to go. The tip won't go. And Duncan the rebound.
If you're the Phoenix Suns, you have to be careful right now because this San Antonio Spurs team, they know when they smell blood. They go for the juggler. They get the ball in the hands of Duncan, and he is a playmaker.
Duncan seeing the mismatch on him. Up and under. Nice move from Duncan.
Just pick you apart. It's not fair to leave Sean Marion all by himself one-on-one with Duncan.
Oh, Stoudemire hit hard and bounces right back up. The lead for San Antonio, the largest of the game by either team.
This is just tough. This is one-on-one basketball. This is the best player arguably in the world. He's able to just play one-on-one, get to the post, go to the opposite side without a Phoenix Sun defender in help position.
So Stoudemire back to the line. And this is where Phoenix, always amongst the NBA in terms of fewest free throw attempts, this is where he's so critical. He gets to the line, he gets other teams in the penalty because they're a very good free throw shooting team. But he's the only one that gets to the line a lot as he hits the first free throw. And we'll remind you, TNT tomorrow. Bulls and Pistons in Detroit, game 2, followed by the Warriors and the Jazz, game 1. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. And then ABC next Saturday, game 3 of this series. A primetime game on the East Coast. And ABC next Sunday against the Pistons and Bulls from Chicago. As the second round continues here in the NBA playoffs.
You see the adjustment. Mike D'Antoni brings in Kurt Thomas, so he's the primary defender on Dunk.
Parker puts it in. 7 for 7 from the field. San Antonio here in the third quarter.
And he is knocking down that jump shot to start the basketball game. He can get to the paint anywhere. It creates havoc, and it's a monster that you have to deal with because he is at the defense is at his mercy.
And that's what he knocks down the shot. He's just become such a deadly shooter from the mid-range. He's not a three-point shooter. Horry, and they'll let it go out of bounds.
And it's really made him a complete player on the offensive end because speed-wise, he can get anywhere he wants on the floor. When you add a jump shot to that, you are dangerous and there's no answer.
He's only took, during the regular season, he only took 38 threes, and he's only taken 3 in the playoffs. He knows his limitations on his range. Raja Bell looking with the shot clock winding down. Nash gets inside, lefty layup. Oh, beautiful move from Nash.
And look at Steve Nash and go into the opposite hand again. The way that he is defended by the Spurs, he's eliminating the help with the blow-by penetration.
The best distributor in the game has 20 points. Parker, foul on Marion. How about Sean Marion? All right, guard Tim Duncan for a while. All right, now go guard Tony Parker for a while.
And then this guy isn't on all defensive team, first team. When you're able to guard anybody on the floor, the big guy, the point guard, it does not matter. They are trusting his ability. Sean Marion is so underrated on both ends of the floor.
He was 4th in the NBA voting for Defensive Player of the Year, but didn't make one of the first 2 teams. Now, the teams are voted on by the coaches, Defensive Player by the media. Parker again, a 2-pointer. 25 for Parker, 20 for Nash. But it's San Antonio up 8.
I will take great defense, great offense any day of the week over great defense. Tony Parker and Steve Nash is having their way right now.
As we mentioned during the regular season, he averaged 28 a game against Phoenix. Nash would much prefer to pass, but he is so good at taking advantage when they give him those openings. 2 of the best shooting guards in the NBA in terms of efficiency. Kick ball by Bowen. They'll reset the shot clock to 14. Barbosa limbering up, ready to come in. You know, he's the whole time to start the first and third. He's looking down the bench. Where are they going to put me in? Where are they going to put me in? And they're going to call a foul on Bowen. 3 on Bowen. So Bowen has 3. Stoudemire has 3. He's pleading his case. Let's take a look.
And you look at Bowen trying to get through the screen. This is playoff basketball, but the call has to be made on one of them. And Amara Stoudemire says it was him.
He made the call. Now, that was close because Stoudemire was moving, but also Bowen didn't try and look to get out of the way. It may have almost been a double foul situation. Nash gets inside, blocked for the foul. And Steve Nash will go to the line as Bowen gets a rest.
I think in that situation, it has to be a decisive call on someone or a no call. But the contact was made, and the referee said Bowen was the guy that created it.
So they're already in the penalty. Duncan has a lot of respect for Stoudemire. As Nash hits another free throw. The old veteran and the young star. Seven-point game with 6.5 remaining in the third.
And they're looking to set pick and rolls and keep the ball in the hand of Tony Parker.
Duncan inside. They lost him. And Tim Duncan gives it back to an 8-point lead. A delay of game call against Duncan. Once the ball goes through the rim, you can't touch it to kind of stop the fast break, especially against the Phoenix team. So the second one of those would be a technical foul.
The reason why you lose Tim Duncan in that situation is because the guy setting the screen, defending Tim Duncan, you have to try to pay attention to Tony Parker because he's knocking down jump shots.
Dash to Stoudemire inside. Oh, nice adjustment. And the blocking back. Call on Horry.
Look at the Spurs, and the thing is they don't beat themselves. They execute on both ends of the floor. They make you work when you're on offense, and then defensively, they just pick you apart.
Nash with Duncan in his face. Stoudemire the rebound. Raja Bell. Hit the 3. And that we haven't seen from Phoenix, that flurry of threes. So Barbosa in the game.
And the reason why you don't see the flurry of threes is because the defense of the San Antonio Spurs staying home on the shooters. When they help, they do a great job of doing multiple things, closing out to the shooters and contesting.
Here's Diaw. Diaw, a good defender, showing his versatility. Making a tough shot. And Stoudemire the rebound. Duncan had to put it up. Shot clock was expiring. Nash to Bell. That's a 3. And Ginobili the rebound.
And ice cold, not able to establish a rhythm because of the defense of the Spurs.
Spurs played terrific defense in the first round against Denver. As Brent Barry steps for 3, won't go. Allen Iverson was saying, every time I got by my man, there was somebody else waiting for him. As Iverson was frustrated into a couple of rough shooting nights.
The difference with this Phoenix Suns basketball team is that they're capable of figuring it out and knocking down shots.
A great pass from Diaw. And Stoudemire hit by Ginobili.
This is a team that scores in bunches, so getting the ball, getting some stops, and off to the races, they will climb back into this ball game very quickly. But the Spurs are aware of it.
Mike D'Antoni so happy to have Stoudemire back in the playoff fold. He had that microfracture surgery on his left knee in October of '05. Then on his right knee, arthroscopic surgery back in April of '06. He started this year, and it didn't look like he was going to have a strong season. No one expected him to play 82 games. He turned out to be the only member of the Suns to play all 82. And after a slow start, just got put into the starting lineup and has been magnificent.
It's really good to see him back because he's one of the good guys. So it's awesome that he's healthy. He's a young, athletic big man, and his future is awfully bright.
24 years old. That's it. Alley-oop. Ginobili can't finish. Stoudemire the rebound. Spurs good transition defense, which they said is the #1 key in this series for them. Stoudemire has the mismatch. Rushed it.
In that situation, if you're Amari Stoudemire, no sense in rushing. You have the mismatch with Ginobili guarding you. You have to force the issue and get a better shot.
Stoudemire now on Duncan. Duncan gets inside, deep in the post. And a foul on Raja Bell. Crowd doesn't like it, but Bell grabbed his arm, and that's the third team foul on Phoenix, and Bell's second.
And the correct call, Raja Bell with the hole of Tim Duncan. Take a look at the way Duncan catches the ball on the block. He is just waiting for everybody to get out of the way. He's being guarded by a bigger guy, going up for the offensive rebound. The hole by Bell, not allowing that. That's
well, the original grab was kind of concealed by the ball. We saw it on the actual live play. And he did grab his arm.
Well, I was about to say that. It was the opposite hand. You look and say, Bell say, no, I didn't commit the foul, but it was prior to jumping for the rebound. Thank you for covering my back, partner.
Ginobili sets it up. Bowen left open. Here comes Barbosa. Had a flurry in the first half. The Brazilian blur blocked by Duncan and Horry, but they call a foul. Crowd didn't hear the whistle, so they're ready to boo. And good sportsmanship from Horry, checking if Barbosa's okay.
And you see Barbosa bringing the ball up the floor, and he lulls you to sleep, and then all of a sudden pushes it into another gear. The blow by, causing the contact. That's just good old-fashioned playoff basketball.
So Barbosa, you see, just came into the game, so hasn't had a chance really to score in the second half after the big first half as we go to Michelle.
Well, one of the drawbacks to Barbosa's success this season has been some dangerous publicity for him and his family. He told me one Brazilian newspaper printed that he was worth $100 million. He said that's not good because some of his family members are now being followed in Brazil, and they're concerned about kidnapping for ransom threats. So his family has protection, but he wants to move all of them here so he can keep an eye on them, keep them safe. The visa issue is the problem. There's the mom, Ivete, the brother, Arturo. He's got one other brother, 2 sisters, still in Brazil, hoping to come here, Mike. There is Eva Longoria. It's well publicized that she's engaged to Tony Parker. The two are set to marry on July 7th in Paris, France. And the best man will be Phoenix Suns forward Boris Diaw. There's Tony. He played in France with Boris Diaw, and there's Diaw on the right, and on the left is Ronny Turiaf, the former Lakers, or the Lakers forward. He'll be in Paris for the nuptials as well. Now, Ronny Turiaf told me before the game he's not taking sides in this game. He wants each of his friends to score 30 and the game to end in a draw. And he asked me how likely he thought that would be, and I said that's about as likely as Mark Jackson and Mike Breen getting invites to the wedding in Paris.
She's just jealous because she's not invited either.
Tony told me mine was in the mail.
Duncan able to put it in. Those three, you know, they grew up together, teenagers, played in the same sports academy, high school teammates with Diaw and Parker. They dreamed about the NBA, and here they are having terrific careers. Back then it seemed like a long shot as Raja Bell knocks down his mid-range shot.
And all guys, true professionals in class act. Great to see.
Under 3 minutes left in the third. Bowen right back to Duncan. Nice pass inside. Bowen, no, he traveled. Took the next step.
And here's the dangerous thing. You take a look as we look at Ronnie Tara from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Phoenix Suns double teaming Tim Duncan, forcing Jacques Vaughn to make a play and gets caught with a traveling violation.
Barbosa puts it in. They'll leave Barbosa. The heat up. It's back to a 2-point game. And the crowd right back into it.
And it only shows you how good the Phoenix Suns are. Everything has gone the Spurs' way. The Suns all of a sudden look up without a surge, and they are down 2 points.
Diaw doing his best on Duncan. Finley won't go. Rebound taken by Ginobili. Ginobili for 3. And another long rebound for San Antonio.
You cannot give up second and third shot opportunities against an executing team on the offensive end.
Right back to the big man. Vaughn left open. Can't hit. Another offensive rebound. Brown wants it over the top. They've led the play pretty much all afternoon. It's been consistent in terms of letting it be physical.
Popovich making the adjustment because they're doubling Tim Duncan and forcing Jacques Vaughn to score, so he puts the ball in the hands of Ginobili.
Marion tips it. Barbosa trying to save it, but it's San Antonio ball. It's like a team in the NHL on a power play.
And you point and you say, well, how come they don't get the rebound? Is it one guy's the big guy? No, it's collectively making a conscious effort to attack and not allow second shot opportunities, and the Phoenix Suns are not doing that.
Parker comes back in with 1:10 remaining in the third. But despite all these offensive rebounds, they've still come away empty in this possession.
See the adjustment by Popovich, getting a scoring point guard back into the ball game so that the defense will pay the price of leaving Park.
Diaw's done a solid job on Duncan. Duncan forces it up and banks it in. That's a tough shot.
The thing he's doing is he's reading the defense. If the help comes, he gets rid of the basketball. If it's not, then it's one-on-one.
Barbosa nails it. Leandro Barbosa, the NBA's sixth man, providing a much-needed spark off the bench. There's his mentor, Dan D'Antoni, Mike's brother, the assistant coach. Turnover.
In this situation, D'Antoni is looking for a 2-for-1 from Barbosa with 38 and change left to go in this quarter. Wants to get a quick shot and assure another possession.
Barbosa to the basket. And Parker says, let's slow it down. About a 7-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. So Suns will get the ball back unless we have another offensive rebound.
And it's Tony Parker looking to play one-on-one against Sean Marion.
Parker trying to draw contact. Final seconds of the third. Barbosa looking. Blocked by Horry. And that will end the third period. Robert Horry, an underrated defender with a good defensive play. And that will end the third quarter. They still only led by 2 heading into the fourth. Now, after that three-pointer, it's a 5-point game. Sean Marion. Just his third field goal.
And you love watching both of these teams. Once again, neither team rattled. They understand it is a 48-minute ball game. They pick you apart on the offensive end, and they compete.
Ginobili. Parker left open again. The two-pointer. Barbosa tips it to Thomas. And Thomas in there for his defense. Barbosa. Nash getting his usual rest at this point. And a whistle and a foul on the entry pass. Bruce Bowen now with 4. Duncan getting his rest as well. Bowen's going to go to the bench. Finley comes back in. Another strong game for Finley.
It's important to watch right now. Tony Parker has to keep pressure on Barbosa because he's a guy that can score in bunches.
Marion, shuffle pass, beautiful feed from Sean Marion. And Kurt Thomas with the bucket.
We're watching good basketball, the dribble penetration by Marion and Kurt Thomas finding a space underneath.
You see the bench, very important for Phoenix, led by Barbosa. Shot clock down to 5. Parker goes right at Marion. Oh, what a shot and a foul. Over the much taller Sean Marion. Beautiful play from Parker.
First team foul. Parker will shoot 1.
Tony Parker backing up one-on-one with Sean Marion, gets ahead of steam and finishes in traffic, knocking down the basket and going to the line for the possible three-point play.
Marion, his 3rd foul. Parker having a great game.
The way Tony Parker's playing, you would think that Eva Longoria didn't say yes. He's trying to get her. She said yes. The marriage is on.
Bell looking inside. Knocked away by Ginobili. Last touch by Finley. There is such a thing as cold feet, you know.
I don't think that's going to happen.
83-79. When they played 2 years ago, San Antonio came in and won the first 2 games in Phoenix. Mike D'Antoni stressing how badly he wanted game 1. Barbosa, long, Thomas the rebound. Kurt Thomas playing some good minutes off the bench.
We watched him knock down that basket, kept the ball alive just now, and then a second shot opportunity.
Marion for 3. Big bucket from Sean Marion. And it's back to a 1-point game. You see Jimmy Capers pointing up one of the shot clocks above that basket. Went out momentarily.
Extra possessions in playoff basketball will kill you. Kurt Thomas keeps the ball alive, and Sean Marion steps into a rhythm jump shot.
Crowd chanting defense for the best offensive team in the league. Parker to the basket again, up and under. Alberto's tip won't go. Here comes Dion. Barbosa back for Marion. It's good, and the Suns retake the lead. Ginobili to Alberto. Up. And Spurs come right back.
They don't get rattled, but off to the races again. The Phoenix Suns, they love this pace.
Bell looking for an opening. And Ginobili so aggressive in fighting over the screen as momentum carries him in. And Ginobili now with 4 fouls. 2nd team foul. The crowd fired up right now. Suns trying to come back from 8 down. Here you see the numbers in terms of 100 points. That's what Mike D'Antoni hopes to reach. They're going to get their 100 points. No matter how many San Antonio gets.
Can't say enough about the trust that Mike D'Antoni had in his bench guys. He's going with Kurt Thomas off the bench, and those guys responded. Really big quality minutes.
And Stoudemire back in. Nash will come in shortly. That's a 2. Barbosa in and out. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the 4th. Tony Parker to the rim. Comes up short. Parker wanted a foul. Raja Bell up and under. And a whistle. That foul won't count. And Raja Bell will shoot 2.
And Tony Parker looking for the foul on the other end. Amari Stoudemire did a great job just going vertically up, not creating the contact.
Well, the Dallas Mavericks eliminated in the first round. Many feel that these are the 2 best teams, and this one might decide who will be the eventual champion. Certainly 6 other teams say, hold on a bit. But these right now are 2 great teams. putting together a terrific effort here this afternoon in game one, Mark.
Well, two great teams and really came to play. They understand the importance of setting the tone in playoff basketball. And if you're Mike D'Antoni, you like the idea that you've given the two-time MVP, Steve Nash, a breather, and now he can come into the game and play the role of Mariano Rivera, looking to close it out.
So Nash will come in, Bell at the line. Free throw shooting. 17 of 21. Suns by a point. Still early here in the fourth. Finley still has that high elevation.
That's just execution. Michael Finley able to come off the pin down and step into a jump shot. Roger Bell there, but not in the picture because of the extension of Finley.
34-year-old Michael Finley has 14. Barbosa way short. Stoudemire the rebound. Defended well by Duncan. And Duncan comes up with his 13th board.
You look at the San Antonio Spurs defensively. Everything is a grind right now for the Suns. They are contesting every shot.
Duncan methodically. That time, Stoudemire with his 12th rebound.
Good defense by Stoudemire, not creating contact, and then
Leandro Barbosa. A little whirling dervish.
Well, spun one way, came back, and then finished in traffic. A guy that just missed two in a row. He's not afraid of the moment.
Finley can't connect. And Marion the rebound. Here goes the Brazilian burn. This time turns it over. Parker. Finley for three. It's good. Michael Finley from downtown. And a timeout call by Phoenix. And Tony says nothing on that last one. Barbosa looking to Bob Delaney.
He doesn't have to coach offense. They're a superior offensive team. They have to get it done on the defensive end, and Coach D'Antoni is sending the message.
Nash to Stoudemire, gets inside and gets fouled. And Stoudemire will go back to the line. He's already been there 7 times. Alberto picks up his first foul. And here's where Stoudemire, one of the things he did while he was out with the knee surgery, is he really worked on his perimeter game and his free throw shooting. And it really benefited this team this year during the regular season. Stoudemire was terrific at the line, 78%. He was in the low 70s for his career prior to this season.
Well, with their style of play and the way that he attacks off of pick and roll basketball, the foul line is a place he should expect to be time and time again.
Yeah, he'll be one of the leaders in free throw attempts every year he's in the league. He just plays that way. But he goes 1 of 2 that time. Parker getting the rest, so Jacques going in. Duncan inside. Knocked out of bounds. He's definitely improved defensively.
Well, he has, and you like that this is the second time already. Not trying to be a shot blocker, just trying to be a nuisance. Keeps his hands extended, contests the shot of Tim Duncan, and forces them to take the ball back out.
Duncan easy. Stoudemire, that's just, even on that play we replayed, he did have his back to the play and got caught a couple of times.
That's just picking them apart. Old school basketball. Ginobili delivering the ball to Duncan.
Stoudemire spinning inside. Oh, beautiful move from the big man.
That's not fair to be that big, that athletic, that forceful, but yet again able to spin in traffic like you're a little guy.
Jacques Bowen left open. Offensive foul. Nash steps in and draws the charge.
Mama, there goes that man, Steve Nash. You say that he can't play defense, but time and time again, he's in the right position. Helping on the weak side, comes back, sets his feet, takes the hit from Jacques Vaughn, and gives his team the basketball.
That's the first turnover by either team here in the fourth quarter. Nash to Marion. Gets the bounce. Suns by 1.
So he makes the play on the defensive end, and then just solid play, pick and roll, finding Marion in traffic.
Sean Marion has 9 points in the quarter, and the crowd on its feet again. Right back to Duncan. Duncan. Robert Horry for three. It's good. Horry from downtown. And just like that, Spurs retake the lead.
We talked about the passing ability of Tim Duncan. Reads the double team and finds his open teammate on the perimeter. Robert Horry able to step into a nice wide open jump.
10 points off the bench for Horry. Nash, Marion. 11 of his 16 here in the fourth quarter. Nash with his 8th assist. And we're all tied up with 5:20 to play.
And you like that both coaches trust that they have guys on the floor that will make the right play on the offensive end.
Stoudemire trying to stay with Duncan. Good defense. Duncan, though, negates it.
You can't play any better defense than the defense that Stoudemire just played. But Tim Duncan just a little better.
Duncan having a fabulous game. Nash inside. Oh! A goaltend.
If you're a coach, you're thinking, what do I do? How do I stop this guy? He's making plays when we trap him, and when we don't, he gets to the rim and knocks down baskets.
And a timeout called by San Antonio. Not shooting the ball well. Well, with 8 rebounds. He's played all season and in the first round better on the road. Duncan keeps it alive, and Horry comes up with it. Big play after big play from Tim Duncan. Duncan pointing, give me the ball, give me the ball. Makes his move on Stoudemire. Lost it. Stoudemire playing it physical. Barbosa inside. Can't get it to fall. Boy, they have let them play all game long, Mark.
On both ends. This is great basketball on both ends. Two teams that respect one another a great deal, and they have been very efficient on both ends.
Under 4 minutes remaining. Parker puts it in. Tony Parker. 30 points for Parker.
And the reason why you go into the pick and roll, because you're saying, I know that they're going to get under. So if they go under, I know I'm going to get a good shot. Tony Parker once again stepping into the jet.
Nash. Stoudemire. Nash inside, draws the contact, almost went in. And he'll go to the line for 2.
And Steve Nash with that dribble penetration, he understands I'm not a high flyer. I'm not going to attack the rim. So what does he do? Attacks the body, creates the contact, and eliminates the possibility of the shot block. Robert Horry has to get on my back. Steve Nash creating the contact and going to the line for 2 shots.
He's only missed 1 free throw the entire playoffs. One of the best free throw shooters to ever play this game. 3rd all time in career percentage. And he's earned the chance of MVP. He's the 2-time defending most valuable player. 1-point game.
And this is when it's most important to get stops defensively. Both teams are efficient on the offensive end, but defensively, that's where you're going to win ball games come playoff time.
Ginobili. Nice to the basket. Anchor won't go. Stoudemire on the rebound. Nash forcing the action. Barbosa gets around Duncan. And they'll reset.
The patience of the Phoenix Suns. Pull it out and get it in the hands of your home run hitter.
Nash to Marion. Down pass stolen by Parker. And Parker will slow it down. And a foul call on Nash as Parker's shaken up. Nash checking to make sure he's okay. Second foul on Nash, and they're calling to come right out right away. Duncan saying somebody come out and take a look. As Parker holding his left arm. There's a foul. And Parker goes down in a heap right away. It seemed like the left wrist area.
Well, they're paying attention to the head of Tony Parker as he lays on the floor right now.
You know, we're looking down at the foul on the arm, but they bumped heads. And that's where he's shaking up. Let's take another look. Yeah, that's where it is. Nash was shaken up as well, but not as bad as Parker. And Parker slow to get up. We'll take a quick break and come back. See, Nash, you can show you the class of Steve Nash. He got hit and it obviously hurt. First thing he did was look down to make sure Parker was okay.
Well, these players and these organizations really respect one another. Steve Nash, even in the midst of getting bandaged, he looks over to Tony Parker and says, "Are you okay?" Parker comes over to the Suns bench, making sure that Nash is okay. That's just class basketball.
So Bob Delaney has to check to make sure there's no blood. Otherwise, they can't let him back into the game.
I think he was making sure he was okay to continue. You know where you are? This is a boxing match, isn't it?
2:53 remaining here in the fourth. Spurs lead by 1. Largest lead of the game was San Antonio's 8-point advantage in the third. It's been close throughout. We've had 8 lead changes already here in the fourth quarter. And this is only game 1 of this best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal. And a foul on Stoudemire in the entry pass. And it looked like he held Duncan.
Tim Duncan doing a great job of sealing Stoudemire and giving the target to Ginobili. Has him locked, no question about it. Good delivery away from the defense. Stoudemire caught with holding the hip of Duncan.
That's the 14th foul. So they'll take it out of bounds. Tell you what, in a tough game, Bob Delaney, Mark Wunderlich, and Capers have done a good job. Nash is still bleeding. Yeah, they get 30 seconds to make sure he's okay. If not, you have to replace him. Or you can take a full timeout. Meanwhile, Stoudemire's personal, his 4th. Again, they're not in the penalty. Next one. Well, we still have plenty of time. 2:47. You see Sean Marks, a former San Antonio Spur, talking to Stoudemire. And Nash trying again get him to stop the bleeding.
You look at that foul by Stoudemire, that's a good foul. What you don't want to do is give up an easy basket opportunity to Duncan, so he creates the foul and forces them to take the basketball out again.
So we're set to reset. Nash is okay. The blood's still coming out, though. Brown on its feet here in Phoenix. Nash up on Finley. Duncan wants the ball. Trying to bring it weak side. Gets the entry pass, and he gets hammered. Hard foul, and Duncan will shoot 2. Barbosa picks up the personal.
And you talked about it. Tim Duncan wants the basketball. This is his time. You're the best player on the floor. Get the basketball and make a play. Amari Stoudemire gambling defensively. You want to stay solid and force Duncan into a move. They throw the ball away from him, and he gets the contact.
Duncan from the line. You see 6 for 11. Duncan has gone through stretches where he's really struggled at the line. He can also get on a good streak. That one was perfect. Bowen's going to come back in for Finley as Popovich goes offense-defense substitution. Game 2 of the series, by the way, Tuesday night, right back here. We'll have game 3 next Saturday on ABC when the series shifts to San Antonio. And Duncan, 2 clutch free throws.
Big foul shot from Tim Duncan. Bring in Bruce Bowen off the Spurs bench to try to harass Steve Nash defensively.
Nash, that's a 3. Bang! Steve Nash from downtown to tie the game.
How about that? He says, I'm okay, and to prove it, I'll step into a check.
Talk about a counterpunch. Duncan lost the ball, but it was off the foot of Stoudemire. And Stoudemire doesn't disagree. Nash, by the way, now with 29 points as we approach the 2-minute mark.
The Spurs have to understand just 7 seconds left on the shot clock. You want to get something quick off the out-of-bounds foot.
Single coverage on Duncan. One-hander, puts it in. Tough shot from Duncan. He's got 32.
Excellent defense by Stoudemire, but Tim Duncan too good fading away with the jump hook.
A couple of MVPs going at it. Nash to Marion. Nash, another three. Won't go. Ginobili the rebound.
A lot of times games are not as good as advertised, but this has been special.
Barbosa trying to put some pressure on Parker. Both teams in the penalty in fouls. Parker nails it. Tony Parker against San Antonio, a 4-point lead.
You have Amari Stoudemire playing center field off that pick and roll. You have to come out and contest the shot of Tony Parker.
Nash to the basket, scoop layup. He wanted a foul as well. Spurs taking time off the shot clock. There goes Parker to the basket. Offensive foul. Raja Bell steps in and draws the charge.
In that time, Stoudemire came out, forcing the issue, and then the help was in a position to take the hit. Raja Bell reacting, takes the hit from Tony Parker coming from the weak side. That's how you get it done defensively.
Very close to the restricted area. Let's see if he was in it. Now it's tough to tell, even if your heels are not touching the ground but are over the restricted area, that should then be a block. Let's take another look.
This is an awfully tough play to call because everything is going so fast. Raja Bell certainly in position. If you're a referee, that's a tough play to see whether the heels of Raja Bell are on the floor or not.
By that last replay, Mark, it looked like he was in the restricted area, and it should have been a block.
Well, the benefit we have is sitting over here watching 3 separate replays. If you're a referee, you have to do it right on point.
54.8 seconds remaining. Suns with the ball, down 2. And the two have played just brilliantly here this afternoon. Not only scoring, but obviously distributing as well. Nash right now is not going to come into the game on this possession. They can't stop the blood. He can't play if he's bleeding. So Barbosa and Boris Diaw come in. Diaw is a very good playmaker and no doubt will play the role of Steve Nash. Nash says, wait a minute, I'm ready to go back.
Didn't wait for the coach to send him in. I'm going in, coach.
So Nash is okay. Now, I don't know, depending, Boris Diaw checked into the game. He may have to stay in for a possession, and they might have to take somebody else out. I think Diaw has to stay in the game. Once a player is put in, you have to stay in for a possession, or at least have a tick go off the clock. Instead, Mike D'Antoni, now you can change that by calling a timeout.
And the smart play is to get a timeout to assure Steve Nash getting back into the ball game because they still have to take care of the blood issue.
All right, now Diaw's going to come back in. He's not allowed to come in until a possession is changed. So Diaw will stay in for one possession. Now, he could call a timeout and change it, but he doesn't want to burn a crucial timeout right now.
I'll tell you what, if it was me, I would call the timeout to get Steve Nash back in the ball game, but the blood is still an issue, stopping the cut.
A tough choice. Barbosa looking for an opening. Duncan on Barbosa. Barbosa for 3. Short. Stoudemire, the rebound. Stoudemire inside, won't go, and Bowen the rebound. They do not have to foul yet, but Barbosa fouls. And they're in the penalty. There was at least a 12-second difference between shot and game clock.
And Mike D'Antoni throws his hands up in the air because Barbosa was unaware of the fact that they did not have to commit a foul. They could have trusted their defense and assured themselves of getting the basketball back with a chance to tie or take the lead.
So without Nash on that possession, unable to convert as the bleeding continues for Nash. And now huge free throws for Ginobili. two-point game.
And you think about it, that's what you lose by not having Steve Nash on the floor. In that position, he's the brains. He says, get back and let's get a stop.
And now a timeout call by Mike D'Antoni with 32.8 seconds remaining. His team down by 3. All right, let's talk a little strategy, Mark. Obviously, Phoenix down by 3. They don't have to go for the three-pointer right away. Just need a quick bucket.
Well, you don't fall in love with the three-pointer right now. What you do is make sure you got a good cut, Doc, to get Steve Nash back into this ball game. But you want to try to get a quick 2 or a spot-up 3. But don't fall in love with the three-pointer right now. There's plenty of time left.
Nash doing everything to get back in the game. Obviously trying to wash out some blood that's gotten in the eyes. That thing just, it won't stop bleeding. So desperate to get back in the game.
Well, truth be
nose
told,
is really blowing up.
Truth be told, there's a lot of blood over there, and you want to make sure that Steve Nash is all right.
Of course, the league instituting that blood infectious rule years ago after Magic Johnson and the HIV. And you can't play with blood on the floor. They're doing their best to try and stop it, but it just won't stop.
And you know what Steve Nash is going through on the sideline, knowing the type of competitor that he is. Crucial seconds. He wants to be in the ball game.
107-104. You see Phoenix with just one timeout left. That's why Mike D'Antoni didn't want to burn the timeout earlier. Plus, again, he just wasn't ready to come in with the blood.
And you don't want to fall in love with the three-pointer right now. If you get a good look, take it, but you want to get a quick basket.
Stoudemire, banker won't go. Rebound tip. Stoudemire again. And Duncan with the foul. Duncan raises his hand, says, my foul, which will only be his second. And Stoudemire to the line.
Really was the right play to make. Stoudemire flying through the air, force him to go to the line and make 2 foul shots. You don't want to give him a good look at the basket.
They continue to work on the nose. Big free throw for Stoudemire. As we mentioned earlier, so improved at the line. That makes it a 2-point game. Let's say he hits this, 26.7. That's less than 3 seconds difference. Does Phoenix have to foul?
He knocks this shot down. You have no choice because the clock is not your friend. Not enough time to get the basketball back. You have to foul immediately and stretch this basketball game.
Another huge playoff performance for Amari Stoudemire. 19 points, 16 rebounds, 3 block shots, and a critical free throw to make it a 1-point game. Timeout, San Antonio. So they'll try and stop the bleeding and get Nash back on the court. A reminder, want to hear about the coaches and players, what they have to say about tonight's game? Log on to NBA.com immediately following the game for live press conferences and video highlights of the Spurs and the Suns exclusively on NBA.com. Well, one of the most important guys right now is Aaron Nelson, the head athletic trainer for Phoenix, trying to stop the bleeding of Steve Nash. As you see, Golden State and Utah, they'll start Monday. This just the first of perhaps a 7-game series in the Western Conference.
This is playoff basketball. This is exciting. This is exciting basketball.
Everybody's now starting to wear the Warrior jersey. It's hip again to be a Golden State fan.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Nelson continues to work on Nash. And for this series, again, it resumes on Tuesday in Phoenix. That game on TNT. Then game 3 Saturday night in San Antonio. We'll have it for you Saturday night on ABC. Here in this conference semifinal. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, guys, I'm standing behind the bench. Another Band-Aid getting ready to be placed on Nash's nose. They were applying kind of a bleed stop. It's almost like a rubber cement, and I mean, I can smell it from 4 feet away. It's really strong stuff, but trying to get that wound to just stop bleeding, it's been next to impossible. His shorts have blood on them, and the last time Nash was on the court, he was dripping blood all over it. That's why he's been sitting on the sideline, as you mentioned, guys.
Again, he must be devastated not to get in. He so wants to be a part of it. Obviously, he's going to need some stitches. But right now, what's the strategy for Phoenix defensively?
Well, defensively, you want to go for the steal. If you don't get it, you want to foul immediately. I think the Phoenix Suns, their bench, they want to get Steve Nash ready for one possession offensively. But you go for the steal, you don't get it, foul immediately.
Barbosa with the foul, trying to deny Parker. Let's see if they call it an away from the play foul before the inbounds, and I think that's what it's going to be. In the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter in overtime, and away from the play foul will put them at the free throw line. So it'll be one shot and possession of the ball.
Once again, Tony Parker selling the foul. That's not a foul right there. That's trying to deny the basketball, and Tony Parker flopping.
Well, there was some contact there, to be fair, as Finley hits the one shot, now the ball. Well, it's only in the last 2 minutes in overtime you have that away from the play foul.
And the contact made by both guys. Tony Parker trying to create some airspace on Barbosa, so it was a battle.
And anyone can shoot. That's to stop the old hack-a-shack when you just grab somebody like Shaquille O'Neal, force him to shoot free throws, to prevent that from being the strategy.
You're Phoenix. The clock is not your friend. You have to foul right away. One of the things that happened to the Houston Rockets last night against the Utah Jazz, you have to look to foul right away and stretch the ball game.
And that away from the play foul, that 1 point makes a huge difference in this game. Mike D'Antoni doesn't like the call, but that's in the rule book, as Ginobili will shoot. Ginobili knocks it down. Any foul before the ball is inbounded in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter in overtime, and that's the call. And lead back to 3. Nash trying to put on a jersey without blood all over it. Trying to get back in. Ginobili misses another free throw. Again, they don't need a 3 right away. Barbosa to Stoudemire inside. Duncan the rebound. They have to foul. Now it's Finley with 9.1 remaining. And this crowd's stunned right now. The Spurs can seal it with free throws.
And the Spurs just play basketball the right way. Able to force Stoudemire into a tough running lay-in, and then they get the basketball, and instead of Ginobili holding the ball, gets rid of it. Extra seconds chip away, and then Finley gets the foul. But how about this? No foul, contesting the shot, forcing a tough one to Stoudemire, gets the rebound, and then gets rid of the basketball, going to the line, attempting to seal the deal.
Duncan there is 15th rebound. And Finley to the free throw line. And it's gotten very, very quiet here at the U.S. Airways Center. Still a one-possession game. Nash says, I can go in, coach. Tough break for Phoenix. With Steve Nash and the collision with Tony Parker, he's had to sit the last couple of possessions. Suns still have 1 timeout left. Crowd trying to rattle Finley. Big shot from Michael Finley, and it makes it a 4-point game. Suns use their final timeout. Michael Finley with 19 points continues his big play in the playoffs. All right, for Phoenix now, obviously they need 2 scores, so the first one has to be rather quickly.
Well, about 2 possessions, whether it be a 2 or 3, but it has to be quick to the basket, and again, foul immediately. You have to get something very quick to the basket and then force the Spurs to go to the line and knock down free throws in an attempt to steal the basket.
And they'll get the ball in the front court. Nash will return. Don't forget, Desperate Housewives tonight, 9/8 Central, an all-new episode. All the way to the season finale, only on ABC. Nash back in.
Spurs defensively, you don't want to give up anything quick. You want to try to contest everything and force them to hit a tough shot without foul.
Nash has played brilliantly this afternoon. Diaw. The ball deflected. Taken by Stoudemire. Bell for 3. Won't go. Rebound Duncan, and that will do it. A whistle and a foul, but the San Antonio Spurs will steal game 1 here in Phoenix.
Old veteran basketball team gutted out and grinded coming to game one on the road and getting a huge victory.
Greg Popovich remaining very calm. Still a long way to go in this series, but an impressive way to start for San Antonio. They'll improve to 3-0 on the road in the playoffs. They took games 3 and 4 in Denver, and now game 1 in Phoenix. What a game for Duncan. Huge performance with 32 points. Also 16 rebounds. And this crowd stunned.
The thing you love about it, Tim Duncan read the defense, did a great job of just picking them apart, and D'Antoni still trying to make his case about calls made down the stretch.
Mike D'Antoni still not happy about that away from the play foul call as Duncan misses the second. And San Antonio takes a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series.